As we head through the month of September, time for another Maple Grove City Report. I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us with Heidi Nelson, Maple Grove City Administrator. Welcome, Heidi.
Thank you.
We've got a lot to talk about from the meeting on the 18th of September, plus a lot going on. It's fall, so a lot of activities. We'll give you a look at some of those. Let's start with the meeting on the 18th, 46 minutes long. There was one item to touch on in the consent agenda, and that has to do with a big event coming up in February that's going to be in Minneapolis, but it'll flood into Maple Grove. Tell us what's going on.
Well, we're preparing for the Super Bowl coming to Minnesota in a number of ways. Maple Grove will be participating. We just recently approved an agreement with the City of Minneapolis to help provide some police support during the days of the Super Bowl. All of the metro area departments have been asked to kind of pitch in and help during this time. We're looking at adding some bus service. The week leading up to the Super Bowl, there's going to be some events at both the Convention Center and up and down Nicollet Mall, kind of that NFL fan experience.
Right.
And so our residents in the Northwest Metro might be interested in heading downtown for some of those events. So we're looking at adding some bus service, kind of like the State Fair.
Great idea.
Where folks could go downtown in the afternoon or evening on the weekends, kind of a thing. We are also looking at planning an event, the Saturday before the Super Bowl, a concert at Central Park. It'd be a ticketed event, and maybe some family-friendly events during the day there as well, just to kind of celebrate that.
Very nice.
And then the item on the consent agenda that evening for the last council meeting was the extended bar hours issue. And so in the last legislative session, they authorized bars could stay open until 4 a.m. during that February 2 through 5 time frame, just really that weekend of the Super Bowl.
Right.
Clearly a bigger issue for the downtowns, you know, St. Paul, Minneapolis. But we do know that our hotels will be full and during that period of time, and so we had brought the issue to the council as to whether they wanted to allow this or not. Cities have to take a proactive action to enable that to occur. Then our existing license holders could apply to have that special provision. So yes, this was approved. We had some concerns raised just about public safety and whatnot, but we feel like we're prepared to deal with that, and this just provides a little extra flexibility for those bars and restaurants that are interested in that.
So certainly doesn't mean everyone will do this.
No.
Again, it's up to the restaurant deciding if they want to or not, and then they have to go through the process.
That's correct.
Very good.
Yep.
All right. Moving ahead to special business, a couple great things happened at the council meeting on the 18th. The first was we have a new fire chief. Tell us a little bit about Tim Bush, his background, and what he brings to the city.
Yeah, so we finished up the recruitment process for the new fire chief, and Tim Bush was the selected candidate there. Tim has been with the city in the role of deputy fire chief for the last 9 years. He also has served as paid on call in the officer ranks with the Eagan Fire Department. So comes with a wide breadth of experience, both as a full-time deputy chief here, but also from the paid on call ranks and understanding, you know, really how that operates, which is really important to the Maple Grove Department, because that's how we function. We have about 15 full-time staff, but about 90 paid on call firefighters, and so it's a big part of our operation. So we were able to swear in Tim to his new role on Monday night. It's pretty exciting. Great turnout from the fire department, not only for the evening of the swearing in to support Tim, but really throughout this process. We were really happy the way the fire department participated. We did some survey work with them to kind of understand what they felt the opportunities and challenges would be in the next 3 to 5 years. We had a meet and greet for all the candidates. Many of them showed up for that. So really appreciate the participation of the department, and really looking forward to moving forward with Tim in his new role, and much congratulations to him.
Certainly.
Do want to congratulate also and thank Marilyn Arnland. She stepped in and played the role of interim fire chief when Scott retired until now. Tim stepping into this role. So thanks to Marilyn for her leadership during that time.
Very good. So that was one reason there was a big crowd in the audience. The other one was the photo contest, and you announced the winners, and we had the winners there at the meeting as well to be recognized. Tell us a little bit about the contest and how these pictures will be out in publication soon. Yeah,
so we do an online submittal process for the photo contest, and they do this twice a year. We had over 400 photos submitted, and of course you were part of the judging committee. Tough job for the group, but great photos submitted, and like you mentioned, we'll be utilizing these photos in all of our publications, newsletters, park and rec brochures, website, social media, really trying to kind of capture both, the beauty and the people who live here in Maple Grove. So the top 3 winners were awarded kind of a cash prize for their contribution to this effort, and we just really appreciate people sharing those images with us and our ability to use them in our city publications.
And you see some of the winners right here. In fact, that one you're looking at right now was the viewer's choice. So this was the public voting, and they love this one with the sun going through one of the Great Lakes in the city of Maple Grove. So hats off to all the people that were awarded, and thanks for all of your hard work. Back to the meeting on the 18th, a few more items to talk about before we get to a little bit of updates from departments. One was a public hearing on the 10 Sushi restaurant. Tell us what's happening there.
So this is a new restaurant coming to Maple Grove. It's just off of County Road 30, kind of just south of County Road 30. Just east of the TCF Bank up there. There's a little multi-tenant building just right behind there. Teresa's Mexican is on one end. This will kind of be the other anchor tenant on the other end. It's where Smoke and Bones used to be.
Got it.
So 10 Sushi is moving into there, so this was a full liquor license. The operators do have 2 other restaurants in the metro area. They have Osaka Sushi and Hibachi in Woodbury, and they also have Saki Sushi in Chaska. So well-established operators, and we're really looking forward to getting them occupying that space and open up for business.
Very good. Welcome to town. One other item with a public hearing was the Hindu Society, some staff housing, and we've talked about this for quite some time, that again, this has been in the plans. Tell us where this takes us now with this work at the council. Yeah,
so this public hearing kind of puts into motion getting the public utilities extended to the site that they'll need to serve that from a sewer and water perspective. So this approves the plans and authorize advertisement for bids, and so you'll see those bids come back at a later date and authorizing the contracts. So another step in the process, they are having their groundbreaking this coming Sunday in the afternoon, kind of a big event for the Hindu temple. This is their staff housing component, one piece of their master plan for their entire site up there in Northwest Maple Grove, so we're really looking forward to this piece coming forward.
Very good. There was one item in community development that actually took a little time to discuss, and not something you would think maybe would take a lot of time. It's a variance, but it's a very specific variance. Give us a little background on what happened and then how this turned into maybe another step of a process.
Yeah, so we had a resident come forward that was interested in building basically kind of a portico or a front porch onto their existing home. And this is in a neighborhood right around Rice Lake, so kind of a traditionally zoned area for single family housing. Interestingly enough, we had in our code that you could have an uncovered front porch that would extend into the setback, but by 6 feet, but only, but not for a covered porch. So really, that would mean just more like a deck, which is not very common. And I think what we see today in a lot of modern, more recent housing developments is really trying to have that front porch presence where you're, having more interaction at the street corner and the front of the house versus everything being to the back, and really kind of pulling that presence of the house forward, more forward than the garage, if you will. So I think the Planning Commission reviewed this, and then City Council and everybody felt that what was being proposed really was in concert with what is happening in that neighborhood from an architectural perspective, and that this would be viewed as an enhancement to that home. So the variance was approved to allow them to extend into that setback by 3 feet with that portico. But also then we had some discussion about maybe amending the ordinance for these single family neighborhoods where we would allow that covered porch still open, so it's not really living space, but we would allow that kind of covered porch type addition to be made to a home that would extend into that setback. So that'll be coming forward at a future date for council consideration. All
right, a couple other community development updates to give you. We've talked about Crave quite a few times, and I know people have been very interested to see it start. And it sounds like it's going to soon. Is that correct?
Yeah, they've submitted their building plans, so we were excited to see that come forward. There were some kind of some real estate issues to be worked out there that we were providing some information to both the landowners and then the property management folks there. And so we saw their building plans come in, so that always tells us people are getting ready to go. So we'll probably start to see some action on what happens with Wild Bill's and that building needing to come down, and then Crave will get started on construction. Okay, one other update in that same area generally is Bottineau Ridge. We've talked about that. The first edition is complete and being used, but there's a second coming. Yeah, so this is just east of Hemlock, kind of north of Arbor Lakes Parkway there. This is the second phase of the Bottineau Bridge project, which is a kind of a workforce affordable housing project. First phase has been occupied since day one with a waiting list, and so there's really a demand for this type of housing in the community for those types of workforce type housing units. And so this one will get started, and construction will be coming through Planning Commission, City Council here, and get those units up and ready for some new residents to move in soon.
Very good. Let's move ahead to Public Works. A few items to touch on there. One having to do with trees. Of course, Maple Grove known for its trees, and it sounds like we're going to have a few more trees coming into Maple Grove. Tell us about this process you're working on.
Yeah, so we about a year and a half ago or so, we put together a kind of a bare root tree farm out at Public Works, and basically what this is planting bare root trees in kind of a gravel bed, and it really allows that root structure to take good hold and develop, and then and even better than when you do like a ball and burlap type tree. So then we go out and plant those at different planting events. So yeah, so this Saturday from 10 to 1 there'll be a tree planting event. If you're interested in helping, give a call up to City Hall for more information. They can tell you kind of where to show up and what time and what tools or things you might need to bring with you. But
very good.
Yeah, just part of our continued effort to reforest Maple Grove.
And the exact date of that is the 23rd, depending when you're watching the program here. That's when that's going to happen. A few other items to touch on from the meeting that Heidi gave in her update. There are some tours that one has occurred, one is coming up. Tell us about the first Housing for All. What did we learn there? Yeah,
so this is the Housing for All tour. It's a group that works on different affordable housing initiatives here in the North Metro. We visited here in Maple Grove the Hickory Ridge project, which is just down off of Quinwood, just north of Bass Lake Road. This is a kind of an older townhome project that a nonprofit group stepped in and acquired it, and they brought some tax credit equity to the project and reinvested in it. Basically complete renovation, exterior and interior to the units. So if you drove by it a long time ago and you haven't been by there, I'd suggest you take another visit. It's really quite lovely what they did with the property and really enhanced the quality of life for the residents that live there. They've added a playground. There's a lot of kids living in that neighborhood. And then just aesthetically, the site is cleaned up and it looks modern and really a nice addition to the community and helps preserve these types of affordable housing units for Maple Grove.
So that's a tour that happened. Now a tour that's coming up for the council and some members of the city staff is the parks. And I understand this happens on a regular basis, an annual basis, is that right?
On an annual basis, yes. The park board gets together and does a tour of either projects that are currently underway or sites that are being considered for projects, and kind of does a bus tour around the city just to make sure everybody has the opportunity to get out on those sites with staff, ask questions, kind of gain a different perspective. So we're going to be headed up to the Angel of Hope. That site is currently under some renovation, expansion. We're creating more opportunity for the pavers, for the memorials up there, and so that'll be wrapping up later this fall. Some additional trail access and seating that's being added to that area as well. So, and that's kind of in preparation. The annual event occurs there in the beginning of December every year. So that one, and then we'll be headed up to the Fernbrook area just north of the high school stadium. There's a project being considered there for some expansion of some athletic fields, and so we'll be taking a look at that site as well. So nice opportunity to get out and look at some of the projects going on or in the future.
And we'll give you a report back on that the next time we get together. Comp plan, we've talked about that for quite some time here. The process continues to march ahead, and there's another benchmark coming up soon here. I understand another meeting with that committee kind of coming back together and talk about where we are now.
Yeah, so looking to get back together with the Comp Plan Committee here in early October. We have been, since the last time we met, we've had some, we called them kind of developer broker roundtables, where we sat down with members of the development broker community and kind of checked our plans against what the real estate market wants to see happen out there and what's happening now and what they predict into the future. So we are taking some of that feedback and providing that back to the Comp Plan Committee. And then just kind of revisiting in the gravel mining area. We have this concept about establishing a business park out there and just wanting to spend some more time talking about what does that look like and how does that function and who might be the tenants and what kind of jobs do they bring to town. So revisiting some of those elements as well. So really just focused on the 610 corridor as well as the gravel mining area.
All right, one final item from the meeting on the 18th to pass along, and this was a report by a council member and yourself as well about a trip to Washington, D.C. And no, not just to sightsee. You got a few minutes into sightseeing. sightsee,
30
but it was
minutes.
to talk about transportation. So
Yes.
tell us what we learned in Washington, D.C.
So this is a trip that was with the I-94 Coalition, which we joined this past year, which is really focused on bringing improvements to the I-94 corridor from Maple Grove to St. Cloud. So the folks that are involved with this, Maple Grove clearly, Dayton, Rogers, St. Michael, Albertville, all the way up to St. Cloud, those communities. So we had a group of about 10 or 11 of us, elected officials from here, from Maple Grove, Councilmember Hanson and I were able to attend. And then representatives from St. Michael and Albertville and Monticello, the I-94 Chamber of Commerce president, as well as a business owner, CEO of Clam, came along for the trip to talk about the importance of being able to, get employees to the site, but also move freight from their sites. So we're looking at a couple projects out there, of course, the completion of 610, the addition of some auxiliary lanes to address some of the congestion we're having out there now following the connection of 610, the Brockton interchange, and then further expansion, some additional lanes between St. Michael and Albertville, further up the interstate corridor. So just a great opportunity to meet with our federal delegation and the Federal Department of Transportation. So we'll continue to push on those projects, both here with MnDOT, but also at the federal level, and hopefully garner some support for some investment out there.
Very good. All right, so that's your report from the meeting on the 18th. Again, about 46 minutes long. Now let's spend a few minutes to talk about some things happening around the city, things that are coming up, and also some things that just happened. And we lead off with one that just happened and some support for the Wayzata Police Department.
Yeah.
Tell us what happened recently in the turnout from Maple Grove.
Yeah, so really sad, tragic story, incident that occurred down in Wayzata where an officer was killed in the line of duty. He was struck out on Highway 12. Officer William Matthews. I actually had an opportunity, worked with Bill down there for about 4 years. Great guy. So this was really a tragedy all the way around for everybody involved. But we were pleased to be able to help Wayzata out during this time of need. Leading into the day that Bill was killed, that was their community celebration that weekend, which is kind of an all hands on deck kind of event. So the communities of Maple Grove and Plymouth and Eden Prairie and Minnetonka really stepped in to kind of hold them up during this time through that weekend, and then leading up to and through the funeral, which was held the following week. And so we dedicated some hours down there. A lot of our officers volunteered their time, knowing, the law enforcement community, they all know each other. And so this hits home with our folks as well. And so we'll continue to keep them in our thoughts and prayers down there.
Definitely.
Yep.
Let's move over to some more exciting news and better news, and has to do with the community center. We've got a couple things to update you on. The first, believe it or not, we're going to talk skating here in September. What's going on with the ice?
Yeah, so this is the celebration of the arrival of autumn. We're not quite ready to skate outside yet, but from 7:15 to 8:45 p.m. this Friday, so coming up here pretty quick, September 22nd, you can enjoy indoor skating at the Maple Grove Community Center, and if you wear orange, you receive 50% off your admission. So it's just kind of getting people back into that groove of skating for the fall and winter months.
It's coming,
Yep.
right. And it kind of fills a void, too, because people have not been able to swim. But that's soon coming to an end. Tell us about the annual cleaning at the pool and how that's moving along.
Yeah, so every year we shut down the pools for renovation, just to kind of get things cleaned up after the long summer months. And so pools are scheduled to reopen on Monday, September 25th. I know they've been hard at work in there just getting everything freshened up, and the repairs that accumulate over the season that need to be taken care of. They've been working on some of the flooring elements as well. So looking forward to getting the pools back open next Monday.
And inside is not the only place there's work at the community center. As you know, if you've been by, there's a little bit of work going on in the parking lot. Tell us how that's coming along. Are we on track here, and when will we be done? Yeah,
we are on track with that one. They're hoping to have the parking lot back open the week of October 9th.
Very good.
So they've gotten all the curb back in and kind of the base foundation of the parking lot in. I saw them delivering sand this morning, so that starts to say we're getting ready for some paving. We'll be adding some additional handicap parking at the front of that parking facility, so I know that's been a needed piece there and something that people have wanted. So looking forward to getting that project done, but in the meantime we're continuing to provide kind of those convenience rides. So out in front of the ice arena there's a golf cart there, and if you need a ride to the front door, they'll get you up there.
All right, a few other items related to staffing. We have a position open in the police department. Tell us where we are in that process and what people can do if they're interested.
Yeah, applications are open through end of the day on September 29th for patrol officer position. We continue to kind of have the parade of retirements, so we're kind of in this constant churn a little bit over there. But if folks are interested, applications open through the 29th.
All right. Let's talk about a great community organization that we want to recognize here, and they deserve a little bit of celebration here. Cross. 40 years. Tell us what Cross does for Maple Grove.
So Cross serves as really the food shelf for this Northwest metro area. They're located in Rogers, but they serve the Maple Grove area not only for those food shelf services, but access to other social services through Hennepin County and through the state. And so they're a great community partner. Liz Johnson and her team up there do a great job. So we're just really proud of the work that they do and congratulate them on their 40 years of service.
As we close up here, I want to tell you about a couple other dates to put on your calendar. The first one is Wednesday, September 27th, and either afternoon or evening version, because we want a lot of feedback. Tell us about Age-Friendly Maple Grove and where we are in that process. Yeah,
so the Age-Friendly Maple Grove program is a concept that the city adopted probably within the last 9 months to a year. This is a program put on through AARP and the World Health Organization. And really what it does is it kind of takes a look at the community from the built environment to our programs and policies, and talks about how we can ensure that we're being age-friendly or being more age-friendly. Right. So the first part of this program has really been an assessment to kind of see where we're at today and what kinds of shifts we might need to be considering in terms of how we construct our city and the programs and policies that we offer. So this Wednesday, September 27th meeting is an opportunity for folks to see what the assessment yielded, what kind of feedback we heard, and what will be considered moving forward, because this piece really becomes the next step of formulating a work plan, of looking at kind of the lens that we look at things for being more age-friendly in Maple Grove.
So great opportunity for input. They would love to hear from you.
Yep.
Let's talk transit in the city of Maple Grove. We've got something that's coming up in the future and a little look back at some great stats here. First, coming up in the future, we've got a slight fare increase. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so during the last legislative session, there was consideration of fare increases for Metro Transit, and so our bus rides will increase by 25 cents to $3.25 each way, and so that applies to all bus and train riders for Metro Transit. One other piece to this is we're back on the regular I-94 route.
Yes.
We've been detoured 169 to 394 for most of the summer due to the 94 construction work, but hopefully this will yield better travel times for those that take the bus, and we're happy to be back on the regular route.
Speaking of people taking the bus, it turns out that a lot of people decided that was a way to go to the state fair, and you've got some numbers on that.
Yeah, highest numbers ever this year. We just shy of 25,000 folks took the bus from Maple Grove to the state fair, which is about 700 more rides over 2016. So, and again, this is just the weekend service, so that's a lot of folks.
Very, very good. All right, we close with a couple fun things to see and do in the city of Maple Grove. Let's go out to Eagle Lake Regional Park. There's something there that people maybe haven't seen before. What is there?
There's a new piece of artwork located on the peninsula at the park, and it's kind of created a gathering space in a very natural setting out there. So if you haven't been out to Eagle Lake Park for a while, this is an art piece that was donated by a local resident, so we encourage you to take a visit out there.
And many people have fun going to the farmers market on a regular basis, and that fun continues outdoors for a little while longer, and then we'll move indoors. Tell us about the outdoor. How long do we have?
Outside through October 19th. The hours will trim up here in a little bit. The hours are right now 3 to 7 p.m., but we'll change to 3 to 6 p.m. as of Thursday, October 5th. And then starting Thursday, November 2nd, we'll go back inside up through the holidays.
All right, and speaking of the fall coming up here, it's time to think about cleaning up, and the city of Maple Grove is ready to help you out with that. So tell us about a couple days coming up here and how people can participate.
Yeah, you'll want to make sure you visit our website or give a call to City Hall to get all the information about what's accepted and how you can get that to us. But curbside pickup service on Monday, October 2nd for residents at their home. We need to know that you're signing up for that program, so you'll want to give a call to City Hall. And then cleanup day on Saturday, October 7th. That's from 8 to noon, and that's a drop-off day at Public Works.
All right, and again, a lot of information on the website. We'll give you that information of what the website address address is in just a second. We close today with something about purple lights coming to the city of Maple Grove. So soon you're going to see a lot of purple during the month of October and for a very special cause. Tell us why purple's coming.
Yeah, so this is an initiative that really we were approached by the Domestic Violence Action and Awareness Program, and they're affiliated with St. Joseph the Worker here in town, and they wanted to start kind of an education awareness program around domestic violence, and then part of it is to the signature color for this this issue is purple, and so to light up the city purple if we could. So a couple areas will be lit up. The trees in front of the police department will be lit up purple, and then the town green will be lit purple for the month of October, bringing some more awareness to the issue of domestic violence. Throughout the month we'll have different social media posts, and we're doing some work with CCX here on some interviews and information, as well as local media. So really just trying to highlight what's available in the community for folks that may be dealing with this issue. We partner with an organization called Cornerstone that provides advocacy and support services for folks that are dealing with domestic violence, and so we really encourage people to tap into those resources that are available in the community.
All right, and again, a lot of information about that on the city's website, so let's take you there right now. Let's take a look at the website and other information you need to know. The next council meeting, by the way, is Monday, October 2nd, 7:30 at the Government Center. Phone number at the bottom of the screen, and up in the middle, maplegrovemn.gov, the place to find out all of that information. And our viewer response line, 533-1710. Questions or comments for the program for Heidi? We would love to take those. That's all for today. Heidi, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time on the Maple Grove City Report.